Welcome to the news at 9. We begin tonight with breaking news. Within the hour, New York City's Rent Guidelines Board rejected a proposed rent freeze.
But the board's decision still made history. TV 1055's Jessica Schneider is live in the East Village with more on how this will affect tenants. Jess.
Well, Dick and Diane, the chair of the Rent Guidelines Board, called it an historic vote, but the tenants who came out by the hundreds say it just wasn't good enough. What they wanted was a complete rent freeze. What they got was a 1% increase for one-year leases, a 2.75% increase for two-year leases. And when that vote came down, they rushed to the stage to voice their anger. So you can hear the frustrated renters. They shouted and they booed throughout this nearly 2-hour meeting. Now, Mayor de Blasio pushed for the Rent Guidelines Board to institute a complete rent freeze for rent-stabilized tenants. He campaigned with that goal, and today he reiterated that, saying tenants have sustained too large of an increase over the years. But when it did come down to a vote today, two proposals were put forth, one with a 1% increase for one-year rentals, the other for 0%. But in a 5-4 vote, it was the 1% increase that actually passed, and people out tonight were not happy.
I am angry. I am angry if ever there was an angry woman. I mean, my landlord and these landlords around here, like Hudson, that woman withered is on Hudson. They are killing tenants in Brooklyn. They're driving tenants homeless.
To make up for the huge rent increases we had in previous years, they should have had a rent freeze to make up for it.
Obviously, that kind of rent increase of 1% when costs are increasing at 6% is going to make it difficult, particularly for small owners, to maintain and operate their buildings. And going into the future, if that's the pattern that this board under Mayor de Blasio continues, there's going to be real problems going forward.
So before this vote, as you heard, there was a lot of talk of political pressure, but it's interesting to note that one of the board members who typically sides with the tenants did in fact vote for this very slight rent increase that the board chair called an historic low. Now, I talked with landlords after. You heard they're not happy about this vote, and they do say that despite that modest increase, if they can't pay the cost that they need to pay, the effects could come down on the people who pay market value for these rents. So other people could be affected by this. But again, the Rent Guidelines Board coming down with a vote just about an hour ago to in fact increase rents by 1% on one-year leases and 2.75% on two-year leases. Live in the East Village, Jessica Schneider, TV 1055.
All right, Jessica, thanks.